In today's video, I want to share with you some tips and tricks that I use to get my body back in balance, heal from H. pylori, and some staples that I use whenever my gut is feeling a bit imbalanced. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, welcome or welcome back. My name is Science Star J. Over here, we talk about self-care, wellness. We do some social commentary. I vlog a little bit sometimes. I'm creating this cozy side of the internet with this YouTube channel and building our community. So if you are not yet subscribe to the channel, be sure to subscribe before you head out and give me a thumbs up. Maybe hype this channel, hype it up so somebody else can see it too. So a bit of the background with me and my gut health issues. Back in 2022, I filmed a video titled Fibroids and Gut Health Drama because I was dealing with some severe gut health issues. I went to see a functional health doctor. She was actually the one that let me know what I was dealing with because my doctors were not able to figure it out. But she let me know that I was dealing with H. pylori and she gave me some supplements to help me heal with that. She also instructed me to stop eating out. She said that the root of H. pylori is coming in contact with fecal matter, which means traveling somewhere or being somewhere where the water filtration system isn't being filtered correctly, or eating out and having people handle your food and they're not washing their hands. And that's absolutely disgusting to me. And as a person who was doing like foodie content creation, going out and finding different plant-based food options for people while traveling, that kind of put me in like a rough, sticky situation, but my health comes first and I know how to cook. One of the main things that she recommended me to get was MegaGuard. There was another one that she recommended me to get from Microbiome Labs, but I couldn't take it because it was made with like some type of cow bone or something. I don't eat meat, don't consume anything with red meat, so I couldn't take that. However, taking this helped. Now, I did go through 2 rounds of antibiotics before getting to this point, and then also making the changes to my diet was the biggest thing. So the first thing that I had to make sure that I did was making sure that I was using the bathroom daily. So I had to take out inflammatory food. So I removed meat, I removed gluten, so that's white pastas, white breads, cupcakes, all of the things that had gluten in them, because gluten has glue in it and yeast, and it can create a toxic environment in the gut when it's not being filtered out properly. This was causing me to have acne issues, it was causing me to be fatigued, and it was causing that burning sensation in the middle of my chest because the food wasn't breaking down properly and it was fermenting. I ended up having to get an endoscopy, a colonoscopy, like I had to go through all of the things. So once I got everything moving properly by removing the things that I should not have been eating and doing things like adding high water content, fruits and vegetables to my diet, and making sure that I was going to the bathroom at least once a day, but trying to get it up to 2 times a day by consuming more fruits, more vegetables, and less starches. And also paying attention to what my body didn't like. Like, for example, I can eat chickpeas, but my body does not respond to eating chickpeas in a way that allows for my digestive system to move things out. So I limit my consumption of chickpeas. Another thing that I did was, instead of just consuming plain water, I added things to my water like fruit, oranges, lemons, limes, and Celtic sea salt. Celtic sea salt is a mineral-based salt. I add it to my food, I add it to my water. She actually told me to remove regular salt and pink Himalayan salt from my diet and to start using Celtic sea salt instead. It is a bit stronger. You don't have to use as much Celtic sea salt as you would for pink Himalayan salt, and it's kind of a wet texture. So Celtic sea salt is good for energy, muscle function, hydration, hormone health, nerve support, and it helps with electrolyte balance and hydration. So she would have me take some of that, put it in my food, put it in my drinks, and it would help my body to absorb the nutrients. And Celtic sea salt contains 80 trace minerals, including magnesium, potassium, iron, calcium, and zinc. And by supplementing with Celtic sea salt instead of refined salt or pink pink Himalayan salt, it also helps with your adrenal health and your hormone health. Another thing too is that I was noticing that with consuming regular salt, I would get puffy. And so by using the Celtic sea salt, it has lower sodium. So that's another one of the things that she instructed me to do to change my diet and my lifestyle and to help get my gut back to where we needed it to be. Another thing that I was instructed to do was to incorporate aloe vera juice into my diet. Now, I was also taking something called slippery elm bark in a pill form. That's helpful for people who deal with gut health issues, but she told me, for me personally, to not take that. So it is good to have somebody to consult with on the things that you're taking, because sometimes we just trying to fix stuff on our own and we'll see something and try to take it and it might not even be good for us. So I was taking slippery elm bark and she told me to stop taking slippery elm bark, and then I started drinking aloe vera juice. Now aloe vera juice is helpful for repairing your gut lining. So if you're dealing with leaky gut or if you're dealing with some inflammation, aloe vera juice on an empty stomach can be helpful. And I just get regular aloe vera juice in a glass bottle with nothing added to it from the grocery store. And I noticed that after incorporating aloe vera juice, things were starting to improve. Now, the number one thing I will say that helped me was adding cabbage to my diet. And not just any cabbage, it was red cabbage. And this wasn't even something that she told me to do. This was something I think I seen online, maybe from watching Dr. Bobby Price. I started eating red cabbage and juicing red cabbage, and I would put apples, beets, and red cabbage in a juice and I would drink it. And I did that for like a week with the aloe vera juice, and the pain and inflammation from the H. pylori was gone. And by the time I finished this entire regimen, the H. pylori had cleared itself up. I went to the doctor and they told me that it was gone. I did my testing with my functional health doctor and she told me it was gone. And this was all from doing these remedies for me. Now, this is not to say that this is going to work for everybody. You still need to consult with a practitioner, your PCP, a functional health doctor, somebody, to make sure that these things are okay for you to use. Now, another thing that I did was I consumed herbal teas. Now, the herbal teas that I consumed were ginger, turmeric, licorice roots, and marshmallow roots. These are things that help with digestion. They help things become more balanced in the gut and in the blood and the body in general, and it helps to decrease inflammation. And after a while, I got so in tune with my body that when I ate something, I could feel where it was at in my digestive tract. And so when I noticed that things weren't moving properly, I did what I needed to do, increase my hydration, increase movement to get things moving properly. Now, one of the last things that I incorporated into my routine to help with decreasing the inflammation in my gut and healing my gut essentially was incorporating breath work. Now, I am a licensed massage therapist and soon to be yoga instructor, as I've learned how important it is for us to learn breath work. I didn't realize that I was a mouth breather, like a dragon, like breathing from my mouth as opposed to my nose, because I had been congested for so long that I trained myself to breathe from my mouth instead of my nose. And sometimes I still catch myself doing it too. My husband will say it to me too, like, close your mouth. And I'm just sitting there like, and you don't notice that when you're breathing from your mouth, you're breathing from your chest and not your diaphragm. And so by being intentional with your breath work and breathing from your nose and breathing from your stomach, it helps to decrease the stress and it ultimately helps to decrease your stress responses, which can impact your gut health. There is a content creator that I've been following for years. Her name is Ariel Simone. I'll link her YouTube channel in the description box below. But she talks a lot about gut health and gut healing as well, whereas my focus is more on nervous system regulation and hormone health. She really goes into the importance of gut health and healing your gut and how to do it. And so I really enjoy watching her content, especially now being on a gut healing journey and all of the fears that I had around essentially fear of not being healthy. And I've never had to go to the hospital for a colonoscopy or an endoscopy. So that was one of the scariest things that I've ever had to deal with. I've never been put to sleep for anything in my life. And so I have always just wanted to figure out how can I do this in a natural way that will keep me out of the hospital where I'm being put to sleep. Thank God that, you know, everything went well and that, you know, everything came back clear and I got to a place where now everything is functioning properly. But I wanted to come on here and share this information with someone else who might need it. Now, the symptoms that I had with H. pylori, again, was that burning sensation in the middle of my chest cavity. Burping was a really big thing. I don't burp or belch or do any of that anymore. There was a lot of indigestion, so I would be feeling like my heart was about to explode, like my heart was on fire. And I had never experienced heartburn before. And I went to the doctor and I told the doctor what my symptoms were, and he basically said, go home and take some Tums. I never, you know, knew what heartburn was. Nobody had ever told me that that could be an issue. I thought I was having a heart attack, panic attack, heart attack. Like I thought something was wrong, but come to find out it was a symptom of the H. pylori. H. pylori can also cause you to be constipated. It can cause you to have acne breakouts. Like H. pylori should be being a bigger topic of discussion than what people are making it. I know people have said that our bodies naturally produce H. pylori and it just lays dormant in the body, but H. pylori is serious because if it gets out of balance, it can cause stomach cancer. And so if you're not taking care of your gut and your colon and being aware of how your system operates, it can cause you to get sicker. So it's not something for you to just sit on. When I initially went to the doctor to get tested for H. pylori, I told the PCP at the time that I had H. pylori, and she was like, well, how do you know that? And I told her my functional health doctor tested me for it, and she didn't believe me. And then once she tested me for it and it came back positive, then it became an emergency and a rush, and they wanted to get me in and get me on these antibiotics. And honestly, the antibiotics made me feel even worse. I was in so much pain, and then they didn't work. It was like a full 2 years of going back and forth trying to figure out what was going on with my gut and my body. It was really scary situation. It was a very scary predicament that I landed myself in, and I don't ever want to be in that predicament again. And so that's why I'm taking the necessary precautions and being proactive when it comes to my gut health, my hormone health, all of the things. I hope that this video was helpful to at least one person. And if you are that one person and you are not yet subscribed to this channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel because 94% of my audience is not subscribed to the channel. And my goal is to come on here and update the channel weekly or maybe 2 times a week. So if you have any questions related to self-care, wellness, all of the things that I discuss on this channel, definitely leave me a comment and let me know, and I will do my best to get that video up and out for you. If you're interested in checking out star reviews, definitely check out this playlist here. And I'll be sure to link the products that I mentioned in this video. If they are linkable, I will link them in the description box for you so that you can go ahead and try them yourself. And I will say too that I had people DMing me on TikTok asking me what I did and how they could do it too. I never charged anybody for anything. I just told them exactly what I'm telling y'all now, and they said that it worked, especially that cabbage juice. Now, the science behind why cabbage juice is helpful in repairing your gut lining is because it has a compound in it called sulforaphane, and it helps with reducing inflammation. It has vitamin C and antioxidant, and helps with the inflammation associated with gastritis. Now, if you have an infection, like a bacterial infection, it can help to weaken the bacteria, and you have to take it on an empty stomach. Now, again, this is not medical advice. This is just what I use to help me. So definitely feel free to check out the other videos, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.